Hello good day viewers. In this tutorial I'm going to show you a very simple way to find the square root of I plus square root of negative I. Alright, let's get started. You should know that I here is a complex number and every complex number contains real and imaginary part. So since we have only the imaginary part, it implies that the real part is equal to 0. Remember how it is represented by z equal to a plus what? I b, for which this is the real part and this is the imaginary part. So since we only have the imaginary part, it implies that the real part is equal to 0. So we can rewrite this as square root of real part, which is 0, plus I. And we do the same thing here, square root of 0, then minus I. Another thing you should remember is that every square root can be expressed as an exponent of 1 over 2. So this is the same thing as 0 plus I raised to the power of 1 over 2 plus another 0 minus I raised to the power of 1 over 2. So now I would like to transform these complex numbers into their respective polar forms. Using trigonometric ratios, you should remember that cosine always represents the real part and sine ratio represents the imaginary part. So we should ask ourselves, cosine of what is equal to 0? And you should know that the coefficient of I here is 1, so sine of what will be equal to 1. We know that cosine of pi divided by 2 is 0 and sine of pi divided by 2 is 1. So we have this to be equal to cosine of pi divided by 2, then plus I multiplied by sine of pi divided by 2, all raised to the power of 1 over 2. We do the same thing here, plus. But for this one, we know that cosine of negative pi divided by 2 is 0. Sine of negative pi divided by 2 will give us negative 1, which is the coefficient of I. So we use cosine of negative pi divided by 2 right here, then plus I sine of negative pi divided by 2, all raised to the power of 1 over 2. And to expand this parenthesis, we can apply De Moivre theorem, which stated that we can multiply the arguments by the exponent. So let's do that. This is equal to cosine of what? Pi over 2 times 1 over 2, which is the same thing as pi over 4. Pi over 4. Then plus I sine of pi divided by 4. We do the same thing here. We take this, we multiply by this, that will give us negative pi divided by 4. So we have cosine of negative pi divided by 4 plus I sine of negative pi divided by 4. Remember that cosine is an even function. Therefore, cosine of negative theta is equal to cosine of theta. But this is an odd function. Sine of negative theta is equal to negative sine of theta, right? That's what we are going to apply here. So this is equal to cosine of pi divided by 4 plus I sine of pi divided by 4, then plus, and from this, since cosine is an even function, we can take positive angle. So this is cosine of pi divided by 4. But since this is an odd, we can factor out negative outside, negative I sine of pi divided by 4. Just observe, this is positive, this is negative, so they will cancel. And these two are exactly the same, so we have two quantities. So this is equal to 2 of this cosine of pi divided by 4. And what is cosine of pi divided by 4? It is nothing but root 2 divided by 2. This is equal to 2 multiplied by root 2 divided by 2. 2 will cancel 2, leaving only root 2. This is equal to root 2. This implies that the square root of I plus square root of negative I is nothing but square root of 2. As simple as that. Thank you for watching. Do share to your learning colleagues and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Bye bye.